What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel for another spin the wheel rebuild. I had a blast doing the last one. I'm gonna be honest with you. It made rebuild. It was that little bit different than what we usually do, which we will have on Saturday. Back to the more traditional 5-year rebuild. But I had fun doing the spin the wheel, and I'm always looking through the comments about how we can tweak it because there's so many options. There's so many different ways you can do it. Last time we did it by team. 32 teams was on the wheel. We'd spin that, and then we'd spin the number to decide what player we could get. Today, I'm going to change it up a little bit. This was maybe the best community suggested idea for spin the wheel, is we put all the positions on the wheel. So now we're not going to be just stealing away a player from a team, but now it's going to be for a respected position. So, for example, if we spin a corner and we get number 3, we get the number 3 corner in the National Football League. So it broadens open the scope here. It should give us technically better players than what we got last time. So I'm ready to get into it with this very first spin of the wheel. Now the difference is because we don't want to just get like 3 corners potentially, I have decided that when we get and land on a certain position, it will then remove itself from the wheel so we can't re-roll it again. So without further ado, first spin. I don't know, I don't even really know what team I'm going to be. Left tackle, I have an idea. It's left tackle. So we get left tackle number, we definitely want like a high number here. Left tackle number 4 in the NFL. There is a good probability that this guy here is very old and not great for a rebuild. But hey, franchise tackles pretty much matter everywhere else except Madden franchise mode sim. So it's not that good of a pick. So with left tackle number 4, Bakhtiari, Armstead, Trent Williams, we get Tyron Smith. I'll take Tyron Smith, given the fact that if we were literally 1 or 2 higher, we'd be getting Whitworth or Joe Staley, who we actually got in the first spin the wheel rebuild. So in terms of age, you're looking at age right there. That's not that bad of a pick. And with this selection, it makes it so Dallas isn't as good. So that's always a win-win. Okay, so left tackle, got Tyron Smith. That's great. That's great. I wish it was a more skill position. Oh my God, if we got fullback, I would have would not been good. I had to put it on the wheel. I could not put fullback in. Shout out to Mike Allstad. But all right, so we got running back, and this is going to be our running back for the rebuild. Oh no, running back. I don't know much about like the top tier ratings here in Madden this year. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no clue who this could be. If I had to guess, it could still be like Todd Gurley, but I hope it's like a McCaffrey or something like that. Okay, it's been a while since I've looked at running backs. McCaffrey's actually the number 199. When did that happen? Anyways, we got Dalvin Cook. I will, shout out to my fantasy football team. Dalvin Cook has been a huge get for that. He's an X factor. So, you can't go wrong with any of the top 10 running backs. But Dalvin Cook, okay. That's an interesting one. So to start the wheel spin, we got 2 pretty much franchise players right off the rip. So that's really good. And then we're following, oh, yeah, of course. Fullback. I don't even know a playbook that utilizes, like the Packers, man. I don't know. Fullback 11. That is a waste of a spin. Yes! Yes, Elijah Penny. Welcome to whatever team I decide we're going to be. Yes, Elijah Penny, yes. Okay, at least we got fullback off the board. I guess it had to get done. So now we're looking at left defensive end. And I would love a high pick because I like to use these guys. So we get this left defensive end 12 in the NFL. Okay, D4 now look, that's generally speaking a good pick when you look around the players' ages around them. However, we're eating these contracts. He's a massive contract from the 49ers. So this isn't as great as a pick as it could be. Like, I would love to get, someone that's on a rookie deal that can help with the salary cap. But D4 is going to come in, be very expensive, but hopefully very good. All right, the spin that signifies halfway through building our team. Punter. Like, it would have been awesome to go through this with getting punter, kicker, and fullback. But hey, we get a number 5 punter in the NFL, probably Morstead or something like that from the Saints. Actually, we're taken away from the Cowboys again. Chris Jones, cool, welcome. All right, wheel spin number 6. Please don't be kicker. Just don't be kicker. I would even go like guard. Just give me something on the O-line. All right, don't disrespect me with a kicker. So we're gonna get left guard number 8. All right, this is going to be the nice little pairing with Tyron Smith on that left-hand side of the offensive line. Okay, I can get down with this. It's Elton Jenkins, rookie from the Green Bay Packers, 2379. That's a franchise player right there. Wheel spin at number 7. Give me like something. Quarterback. Middle linebacker. Like, we've yet to get... I mean, Dalvin Cook's nice, right? But really, outside of that, we haven't got like someone that gets the juices flowing. So now we're getting number 14. Ooh, I take that back. Roquan Smith. I thought 14 we're gonna be, digging in the dirt here. I would literally take 13, 14, or 15. Schobert, Roquan, Miles Jack, but Roquan is the best of the bunch. So back to back. Great young franchise picks for our rebuild. 3 spins left, please. Can we get quarterback or wide receiver? D tackle, phenomenal. At least give me like D tackle 1 or like. Can I get like someone that's real good? D tackle 5, a top 5 D tackle. Usually, I find like if you get between 4 and 6, you're getting to guys that are like around 30, like near the end of their prime. But come on, hopefully D tackle 5 is. I have no idea. I couldn't even guess off the top of my head. Damn it, literally. 4, 6, 7, 8 would have been good, but D tackle 5 is Geno Atkins. He does have a superstar X factor, so that is something. But he is also 31, very expensive. You got like 2-3 years. I'm trying to remember. We just did the Bengals rebuild. He was there for a while. I didn't even think he made it till year 4. He might have made it all 5 years. Okay, outside of running back, still looking for our first skill position. And we're going back to the offensive line. Right tackle. We get Lane Johnson. Oh, no, we're not even. Right tackle 10 in the NFL. Hopefully it's another scenario like Elton Jenkins where we get like some rookie, some guy that we're going to be able to plug and play and not worry about for the next 5 years. Okay, not a bad pick. Taylor Moton. He's 2581 out of Western Michigan. We got Taylor Moton, Elton Jenkins, and Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith is 28. We should be able to rely upon, we have 3 spots on our offensive line solidified for the rebuild. Final spin time, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, something. Right guard. Okay, we better have an unreal offensive line. At least we haven't picked our team yet. I was trying to be a little strategic. Right guard 3. Can that be someone amazing? I mean, maybe it's Brandon Brooks of the Philadelphia Eagles. But whatever team we're going to pick now, let's go to a team that has the worst offensive line, but at least has a quarterback in place. And our final addition to whatever team we rebuild is going to be David DeCastro, right guard from the Steelers. I think very much like Geno Atkins. He's 29, but because he has that superstar dev, he doesn't regress too much, that we could probably rely upon him for at least 4 years of the 5-year rebuild. So generally speaking, that's great. We got, we didn't get a quarterback. We didn't get any wide receivers. No tight ends, no corners. Arguably, if you're doing like a fantasy draft, like the most important positions you want to start off with, but we have a great offensive line, and it kind of opens things up. I gave myself an out by not deciding what team we were going to rebuild. It's still going to be a bad team, but now knowing that we didn't get any fancy picks at those positions, maybe they'll help us decide what teams can be the best fit for these players and this rebuild. So for our second spin the wheel rebuild team, I've decided we're going to be the Houston Texans. We've made a juggernaut, but already hopping in, things are going to be difficult because I want to at least move away from the draft picks that the Houston Texans did get rid of. Like, they don't have a first, they don't have a third, they don't have a fourth, they don't have a future first. And so, I want to get rid of that so it makes it that much more difficult. But because we're so over the cap, I can't even trade our draft picks away. So we're going to have to make some cuts right off the rip here. I have no idea who we're going to be able to move on from. I know there's probably some bad salary caps here. So let's see. Right off the rip, that's a bad contract. Can't get that out. Joe Webb getting, that's a decent chunk of money that we don't really have to pay you. Duke Johnson, solid player. Okay, Lamar Miller will go. That's goodbye. And then you gotta look at Carlos Hyde. You can go. And we'll go with the Duke Johnson, Dalvin Cook for the time being. Even Tywan Jones getting paid a pretty penny. Pun intended. Wide receiver, we got Hopkins, Stills, Fuller, Kuti. I mean, we could just try to get rid of anyone. I think we're $14 million over the salary cap right now, which is a whole lot. I mean, can always get rid of the long snapper here. I don't know how much is going to be helping us here. Rod Johnson, 500 grand. Still got Tunsil. We could slide. We're going to have to slide Tunsil somewhere on this offensive line to make it work. Okay, Sinio Clemente. That frees up $2-3 million. We got Elton Jenkins. We can get rid of this guy, Greg Manx. That's almost $2 million. Oh, that is an ugly 18. What are you doing? Paying Nick Martin that kind of money. You know? Ridiculous. Simply ridiculous. Flip to the defense. We're going to have to change a lot of things around here. I don't think we can justify a lot of these salary cap hits. Dylan Cole. Peter Kalambaye. Shout out to Pink Slips. Live stream tonight. Barkevius Mingo, there's $4 million. That's actually, there we go. That's a good contract to get off the books. Chris Elaine, like, we might be changing our scheme up. So really anyone that's expendable. I mean, we might have to think about Whitney Merciless at this point. Garyon Conley, Vernon Hargraves, Lonnie Johnson. There's a couple corners that we don't need. Oh, please let me be able to, like, please let me make my team worse, you know? Let me be able to flip all these draft picks because the Houston Texans don't have a GM all away. That, okay, Mike Adams, way too old. There's another $1 million. Jaleel Adai, that's almost another $1 million, even though you do have a star dev. Might have to just replace our kicker, too. $3 million kicker? I'll just get one off the wire. Can I trade anyone yet? There we go, $7 million in cap. I'm going to trade away all the picks that the Houston Texans don't actively have, and then we'll get into the rebuild. So after getting rid of all of our draft picks that the Texans don't have, we had to shift things around, and we had Whitney Merciless as a, kind of surplus requirement, as we are going to be switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Goodbye, Romeo Crennel. So we're able to flip Whitney Merciless to the Buffalo Bills for a 3rd-round pick and Harrison Phillips. Okay, so we got everything in place now. Scheme, team, it's unreal. It's going to be like the easiest rebuild. Wow, man, hey, easiest rebuild. Usually when the rebuild seems easiest, that's fool's gold. Because it's going to be even harder than what it should be. But here's how our squad is going to line up. We have Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Dalvin Cook will be our running back. He is an X factor. First one free, I think is what he has. And then we got Duke Johnson as a receiving back, even though we probably could use Dalvin Cook. Hopkins, wide receiver, along with Kenny Stills, Will Fuller. I'll actually make Will Fuller the other outside. Even Kiki Kuti as a star dev. We got Tyron Smith on the offensive line. We go Taylor Moton at left guard, Elton Jenkins at center, DeCastro right guard, Laramie Tunsil at right tackle. When it comes to tight end, this is where things get a little interesting. We want to try to grow and develop our tight ends because you have Kahea Waring, who I think not too long ago we actually did a Houston Texans rebuild. But Waring got a bunch of dev trade scenarios, and we were able to grow him into a nice time. Whereas Fells is like, what, 30-something? So actually, that's what we'll do. We'll take a look at this. They have Jordan Thomas, but Waring's the best of the bunch. We'll make him. We'll go weak at tight end and gamble that everything else on this offense can make it work. Welcome to the defense. We have switched from a famed, I mean, it seems like it's been forever that the Houston Texans are running a 3-4 to a 4-3. We have J.J. Watt, Geno Atkins, DJ Reader, and D. Ford on the defensive line. McKinney, Roquan, and Zach Cunningham make our linebacking core, which is filthy. We got Sean Gibson at strong safety, Justin Reed at free. Corners, we got some talent here. Mix of young and old. Jonathan Joseph will be our starter, but he's not a long-term option. Roby has a star dev. Garyon Conley, who came in the trade from the Raiders. I think it was like a 3rd-round pick. He was a monster for us in our Raiders franchise. Hopefully he can continue along that. They got Vernon Hargraves too here. It's the secondary is a work in progress. Really, outside of Justin Reed, I don't have a lot of answers, but this still should be a very good team. Well, I think early on, year 1, year 2, that's going to be our big window to try and win a Super Bowl. But I think long-term, too, we're going to have that stability. That's going to be the challenge, is managing the salary cap and trying to win something special here with the Houston Texans. So let's get into year 1. Coming into our year 1, week 10 bye, we got a breakout scenario here for Will Fuller. Wide receivers. I mean, let's be honest. Generally speaking, when you're simming, it's about 25% chance they actually achieve it. Wide receiver is probably the most difficult. I predicted it for Kahea Waring. He went up. It was only 100 yards, and I think he actually had like 103, something stupid like that. But he went from normal up to a star dev, which is pretty cool. But we're sitting here with an unhappy Deshaun Watson. But we're 6-3. DeAndre Hopkins not very happy, but it is what it is. Salary cap time. Okay, so DJ Reader is really the only guy off the rip that we want to give a big deal too. 6-year deal. We got him locked up. Like, we could pretty much replace all these guys. Roby's interesting. He's 79 with the star dev, but he's 27. I don't think his best football, at least in a Madden rebuild, is ahead of him. So we're gonna have to hope that someone like Garyon Conley can step up and take that spot from him. And we have a weekly award winner after a very clutch. I mean, that's Will Fuller right there. Will Fuller will do nothing and then have 200 yards, 2 touchdowns in a given week. But we made the playoffs with a 10-6 record. Winner of the AFC South. I mean, 10-6. We're a 91 overall team. I thought we'd be a little bit better, but at least we made the playoffs. And it just clued into me. Like, looking at Deshaun Watson, top 4 quarterback, playing like an MVP. He's gonna want like one of those 200 million. Like, we're gonna be absolutely screwed. Like, at face value, start of this year, like, oh my god, what's the challenge in that? This team's stacked. We're gonna have to pay Deshaun Watson like $200 million, and we're gonna have to deplete half our roster to try to make this happen. Versus if you just have that base Texans roster with none of those spin the wheel players, no Tyron Smith deal, no Dalvin Cook, no D Ford, no Roquan, Geno Atkins, David DeCap. You can sign Deshaun Watson and have a competitive team. But now with all these other things get thrown into it, it's going to be tough. But Deshaun Watson was phenomenal. 4,300 yards, 36 touchdowns, 13 picks, 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns for Dalvin Cook. Deshaun and Duke Johnson also chipped in. Receiving, Will Fuller, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, 950 and 4. Stills was fine. Waring was pretty good for a rookie. Dalvin Cook got involved. See, again, I think Will Fuller was our slot wide receiver. I probably should just put DeAndre Hopkins as our slot so that at least when we sim, our number 1 wide receiver puts up. Like, that's those numbers DeAndre Hopkins should have put up. Defensively, Roquan Smith, pretty damn good. 117 tackles, 9 TFLs, 2 sacks, 2 picks. We got 6.5 sacks from Geno Atkins. Not a lot of sacks, though. Thought our defense would play a little bit better. Where are we at? Second in offense. Probably like middle of the park defense. 16th, yeah, about there. That's ridiculous that we're 16th. MVP is Deshaun Watson. Right off the rip. Awesome. Coach of the year. Oh, it's not us. AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, runner-up. Dalvin Cook at 8. Defensive Player of the Year went to Kyle Van Noy. We had Roquan at 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Josh Jacobs. Kahale Waring at 7. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Devin Bush. QB Brady. Kareem Hunt. Will Fuller got wide receiver. That could be a dev trade increase for him. I'm firmly expecting one for him, Deshaun Watson. But we made the playoffs here. We have the battle of like the future of the NFL. Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson in the wild card. What quarterback can will his team to victory? And it is Deshaun Watson, who had a player of the week performance. 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 touchdown on the ground as the Houston Texans knock off the Baltimore Ravens 34-13. Got a little skill bump there. I'm with the Patriots. Okay, they just beat the Patriots in real life like a week ago. Can we replicate that and get to the championship? And the Patriots handle us 33-13. Getting I'll tell you right now, when I was picking what team I wanted, it was between the Texans and the Browns. And I probably should have picked the Browns, knowing how well they play in the sim. Anyways, in this game, Deshaun Watson was not on point. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. We didn't really have much of a rushing attack. Defensively, Bill Belichick took away DeAndre Hopkins. D Ford had 2 sacks, but other than that, man, nothing really to hang our hat on in that loss. It's ugly, and like I said before, the Deshaun Watson contract apocalypse hits us. Probably next year is like gonna be our safest year to win a Super Bowl. That's a lot, Dan. That's a lot of pressure only going in year 2 of a 5-year rebuild. We didn't sign anyone in free agency because I know the salary cap, we need to keep everything in-house. We only have, this is our pick this draft, essentially. We have 2nd round, and there's actually a really, really good player. So there's Carl Bing here from Florida, deep threat. He looks kind of appealing, but here's the pick. True value, look at this. Sean Mayberry from USC. Stats look great. 1st round talent. We need a corner to step in, replace Bradley Roby. So this is easy. This is the easiest pick we're going to make. 75. He's number 7 in true talent. The rich get richer with a pick like this for the Houston Texans. You trade away all those draft assets to go all in on like a Laramie Tunsil, Garyon Conley, all that stuff, and then you still get a stud like this in the 2nd round, late 2nd round. So for our draft recap, we did traditional drafting methods here. After that corner, I had to go tackle because offensive line, it's the easiest spot to draft, but it's also where we have a lot of money invested. If we have to come in terms of regression, you look at DeCastro, you look at Tyron Smith. Those are going to be guys that have huge contracts. that could start to regress. So we actually had some home run picks. We got Roosevelt Wheeler, the Boise State in the 7th round. He's a 70 normal. Great pick. 5th round, we got Colby Darling from Oklahoma. 66, meh, but a hidden dev trade. If he can come out as a superstar, there might be a point in time where he needs to come out and play. But an athletic monster. 84 acceleration, 75 speed. He's like a mini Lane Johnson. And this was probably the best pick of the bunch. 75 normal in the 2nd round. Number 7 in true talent. You thought that was the best? No. It's Shane Vaughn from Florida. 74 hidden dev trade. He's 21. Like, again, just a prototypical absolute freak. And really, at the first chance that someone on the offensive line starts to regress, someone takes that like -4 or something like that in an offseason, we got a way to release him, and then Shane Vaughn can be that next guy in line. I've got a feeling he's gonna be a superstar dev trait lineman. Year 2 of the Spin the Wheel Houston Texans rebuild. My God, 96 overall offense. As your reigning MVP, Deshaun Watson did get promoted to a superstar X Factor and ability, run and gun, that I've never even seen this before. So it's, I mean, it's great for us when we play with them, because if we run with them, we can't be intercepted. So it's one of those like OP Aaron Rodgers dev traits. Will Fuller, because he got wide receiver of the year, went from star dev to a superstar dev. On the offensive line, nothing really has changed. Still very, very good. Waring also making the gamble to start him over some of the more veteran tight ends. Paid off well, as he's now the highest overall, and he gained a dev trait last year. Defensively, still pretty damn good. No dev traits or anything that gained. I don't think. Maybe Bernardrick McKinney? I think he might have been a star. And did he go? Oh, he did. All right. So Bernardrick McKinney went from star to superstar. We had some pretty heavy regression here for Deshaun Gibson at strong safety. No more Jonathan Joseph at corner. So we're going to need Mayberry, our first pick, which was in the 2nd round, to step up. I don't think we've had any regression here from anyone. I think everything's pretty much stayed about the same. So defensively, this is again another top to bottom. This team needs to be getting 14, 15 wins this year, as things are going to get very, very difficult when it comes time to pay Deshaun Watson. But at least they put in 5th-year options this season, so that's kind of helpful. Even though when you extend into like a $200 million deal, it's probably not that much cheaper than that 5th-year extension, which is probably what, 15 mil, 14, 12, 13, something like that. Year 2, 6-1. That one loss came to the Baltimore Ravens. I find it weird that we play Baltimore every single season. But everything's on point, man. This team is stacked. But now here comes the contracts that are not going to be fun. We didn't get a 5th-year option for either. Any of these guys. Tunsil should have one. Deshaun should have one. Dalvin Cook should have got one last year. Will Fuller should have got one last year. No. Why didn't those trigger? Oh, my God. This is gonna be brutal. Okay, Dalvin Cook off the rip, got him. Deshaun Watson, next most important. Oh my goodness. Tunsil. All right, that's a lot of talent that's gonna be walking out the door here this season. I mean, and who can we move on? Okay, who has the biggest contract that's too old? Jesus, that's like there's no money to be saved on any of these dudes. Okay, Vernon Hargraves. Get rid of you. Kenny Stills, get rid of you. I think these guys' contracts are up. I don't know if this is really going to help us out much. Duke Johnson, $4 million. Get rid of you. Again, it's not long-term salary cap though that we're freeing up. We might be able to squeeze in. Jesus. Will Fuller probably. Oh, gee, we can't even give him what he wants. Oh, we're not even close. Jesus. Okay, this might be like our window. We're going to lose a lot of players to free agency here after this season, so this has to be a run. 11-5, our 2nd straight AFC South title. Deshaun Watson, very good yet again. Pretty much was top priority, but almost $250 million deal for Deshaun Watson. He's playing very well, though. And we got Dalvin Cook locked up. We have Hopkins still, Fuller, pretty good. No dominant one wide receiver. Roquan Smith, 127 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 picks. We got 13.5 from J.J. Watt, finally playing well. 3 picks, Justin Reed. Mayberry with 2. Did those dev traits unlock yet? What, that tackle that we got in the third round, the 74, he got to be superstar, man. He was growing so quick throughout the year. Vaughn, look, he's already up to an 83. There's no way. But, like, there's no... Like, he'll be able to take over for Taylor Moton, so there's one less loss, but, like, there's going to be no way we can replace Will Fuller. So Will Fuller's gone. I think Tunsil's going to be gone. So we have Darling, who could step up. No dev trade unlocked on him yet, but he's a 75. So realistically, I think it's Moton and Tunsil are two guys on the offer. I could be completely wrong. I'm just thinking out the ass here, but Tunsil and Moton could be gone, and we have replacements for them. We do not have a replacement really for Will Fuller. We do not have a replacement for Zach Cunningham. Oh, we don't have a replacement for Gary on. Well, I guess kind of Mayberry could take that spot over, but this is, it's gonna be rough. And in the first round of the playoffs, we knock off the Kansas City Chiefs 31-17. A rematch here with what do we got? The Baltimore Ravens are 12-4. Let's upgrade our players, make sure we're going in. I mean, Kiki Kuti could step up for Will Fuller, I suppose, but it's still a huge drop-off. In the divisional against Baltimore, and of course we lose, right? Why not? Let's go to year 3 with the... Oh, my God, we're going to get crushed. I've never... In rebuild, any rebuild, that's probably why we did this. We've never got this many guys leave in one offseason. I had to do ridiculous things to get us to 350 grand worth of salary cap. Will Fuller's gone. We lost Taylor Moton, starting tackle. He gone. Peaced out. Who else did we lose? Like, Duke Johnson's gone. Garyon Conley's gone. And Zach Cunningham's gone. And the rest of the NFL, you're welcome. You're welcome. We've given you pretty much every desirable prospect that could possibly be had. Vernon Hargraves is gone. It's dumb. It's stupid. But it's what we wanted. It's what we asked for. So not only did we get the shit kicked out of us for our free agents, we didn't have like any draft picks again. So we needed a new starting strong safety. Gibson, that freed up like $7 million worth of cap. So we got Philip Whitted from Georgetown, 67 overall, but he does have a hidden dev trait. So even though we're going to have to throw him to the Wolves, hopefully he hits the ground running and could finish like mid-70s after a rookie season. Again, then we just went best player available with our limited picks. Corey McCullen on the offensive line, and then we got a fullback. Because really, we needed corners. We needed a strong safety. We needed corners. We needed an outside linebacker and wide receivers. There was no wide receivers. There was no outside linebackers. So then it came down to we got our safety. We missed out on a corner, and then we just went best player available. And it's gonna be a rough year, boys. Rough year. So a lot of changes had to be made here going into year 3. Not a lot of draft picks. Lost a lot of players, but we're still a very good roster with a guy that's in recent memory, an MVP in Deshaun Watson. So here's how the offense is shaping up. We have Deshaun, Dalvin, Hopkins. Offensive line remains exactly the same. Minus, I thought we were losing Tunsil, but it wasn't. We just lost Taylor Moton, and we can replace him with Vaughn, who we already drafted. So we drafted well. Kuti needs to step up, though. Kiki Kuti is going to be the guy that tries and replaces the production that we lost in Will Fuller. But look at this guy. This guy was sitting in free agency. Dion Slayton, 73. He's 24, 1 year to Beth Cookman. He's a deep threat, 94 speed. Catching's not amazing, only 76. But I was like, all right, that's a solid third wide receiver to have. But we're taking Kuti. Actually, what we're going to do is put Deshaun Watson in the slot. Or Deshaun Watson. Hey, what are you even going on about? I'm going to put DeAndre Hopkins in the slot so that he, at least in the sim, it can reflect, legit wide receiver 1 numbers. Looking at the defense, 89 overall in terms of changes. I mean, we added some corners here. Mayberry, who actually got a dev trait. When did that happen? There we go. Defensive Rookie of the Year, star dev. Awesome. So that's working out pretty well. Lonnie Johnson Jr., who was a third-round pick, I think, of the Texans in 2018. He needs to step up at a Kentucky. Ejiofor is going to be starting outside linebacker. That's a loss. Whitted, who was our highest pick, he's going to be our starting strong safety, 7 overall with a hidden dev trait. Hopefully that emerges as a superstar. That would be a thing of beauty. That would help us out a whole lot. We're starting to see a little bit of regression in Geno Atkins and J.J. Watt. But I think ultimately, given the talent that we lost, I think we replaced them fairly well, especially given the fact we didn't have any money to get anyone in free agency. We didn't have a first or second round pick. I think we did pretty well here as we get ready for year 3. We had a very early bye here in year 3. We're 3-1 though, looking like top dogs yet to get in the AFC South, even though it is only week 6, a little early to call it. Contracts. So now we actually get to, this should help a little bit on some of these big contracts. We're going to be able to take less cap hits, especially like looking at J.J. Watt. Give him a 2-year deal, get him locked up. David DeCastro, 2-year deal. Get him locked up. He doesn't regress too bad. Roquan Smith wants 5. Can we even give him... How about 6? Okay, we'll go 5, I guess. This is as high as we can go. Justin Reed, want to make sure we can keep on to him. We'll give him a 5-year deal. It's a $5 million cap hit. We definitely can give you a little bit better salary. Outside of that, I mean, Kiki Kuti, get that. And then, you know, what? Wait, what? All right, they signed Phillip Rivers as like our backup quarterback. Why? But yeah, we'll make sure. We definitely are going to have enough to get Justin Reed and give Kuti a contract here. So that's, you know, it's better than last year. And the end of year 3, first round bye. Finally, we don't have to run the gauntlet. 12-4, third straight AFC South title. And our team's right back up there again. I did see some pretty good numbers. I brought in Wayne Gallman, who was Deshaun Watson's running back at Clemson, as our backup. I actually saw him have some pretty insane numbers. I think our running attack's going to be scary. You know, you want better from your $240 million quarterback. I would like to see better numbers, even though everything's good. 76% completion, almost 30 touchdowns, no picks. Look at that running the ball. Oh my God, yeah, I knew something was up. 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns for Dalvin Cook. We got 13 rushing touchdowns for Wayne Gallman, 7 touchdowns for Deshaun. I mean, you add that to Deshaun. You give him over 4,000 total yards. You give him 36 total touchdowns on the year. I mean, there you go. Combined, it looks really damn good. Receiving DeAndre Hopkins, because we cheese and put him in the slot. He actually puts up DeAndre Hopkins' numbers. 79 catches, 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. QT was fine. He did go up in dev trade, which was unreal. Even though he didn't, he literally had like one big game the whole year. It worked out well. Waring's developed nicely. Slayton just for like a you know, late free agency stash fine. That's not bad. 500 yards, 5 touchdowns for sure. Defensively, Roquan Smith, 109 tackles. We got 10.5 sacks, D4. J.J. Watt, 22 TFLs. And Duke Shelley, again, another guy. I think we just poached him from the Niners, maybe? Niners or Broncos, something like that. He was on the practice squad. He got 4 picks for us. Unreal. Yearly awards, MVP went to Jacoby Brissett. Deshaun Watson at number 5. AFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Jacoby Brissett. Deshaun Watson at 3. Defensive Player of the Year went to Myles Garrett. Rookie of the Year, hey, our fullback, cool. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Philip Whitted, number 2. It's cool. That would have been nice if we would have got the actual award. For individual award winners, we had nobody, but let's definitely check out the dev trait of that safety while we kick back and relax as we secured a first-round bye here in the playoffs. So yes, we got a dev trait in Kiki Kuti on the offense. Defensively, Whitted is only a star. It's, you know, that's a little annoying, but it is what it is. No other dev traits gained on the defense as we await our first-round playoff opponent, and that is going to be the 10-6 Kansas City Chiefs with Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Now, we're only in year 3. I'm not ready to play yet. I'm not ready to even play at all during this rebuild, but we're able to get a nice little 28-23 victory, and we are just like that. Ooh. We'll make sure we just give him this because now he's a brand new 99 overall quarterback because he's deserved it. What a monster. +1 speed. Sure, make him an even better athlete. What's his throw power at? That's the only thing that was low in Deshaun. I think he starts out with like an 88 or 89 throw power. We get up to a 92. That's respectable. So we have here a game away from the Super Bowl. 10-6. Jacoby Brissett, who went off this year. The Houston Texans. Who's the best team in the South? And it is the Houston Texans putting up 34 points, knocking out the Colts 34-20. We have a weekly award winner. I bet you it's not Deshaun, it's Dalvin Cook, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. Roquan Smith had a big interception as that sets up a Houston Texan New Orleans Saints Super Bowl, which I really, they're 9-7. That is, we kind of have to go in. We'll go in. We're going to play the moments, even though I'm pretty sure play the moments sim is broken. But, there we go. Turnover in the red zone, but they didn't get any points. Who's going to get the first points? Does anybody want to take the lead here in the Super Bowl? Anybody at all? It's not looking good, though. We have a prolific offense with an MVP quarterback, and it took us a whole half to score a single touchdown. That is not a great odds to going on and winning the Super Bowl, but you never know. There we go. We tied up, only down a field goal. Let's come in. Let's Papa Bear this one. A nice little, you know what? At least if we can get a touchdown here. Oh my God, look at this playbook. This is a very weird playbook.
Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bang him up.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Out the backfield. Dalvin Cook, Deshaun Watson, the go-ahead lead there for the Houston Texans. We're just going to make it look a little bit closer when they inevitably get a touchdown and go up 3. Which they did, and it's 4th down. We haven't got a single yard. 2-minute warning. All right, let's come in. Let's take this over, see if we can get them a Super Bowl win.
Let's go, let's get this ball. 31. Let's go. Let's go. 58, Mike. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Here we go. One big play to DeAndre Hopkins puts us at midfield. Well, I should have actually played the full game because now the game's like, oh, hey, great first down. Way to take it from the 20 to midfield in one play. Now here's 4th and 13. We're just getting shit sandwich after shit sandwich here. And then Kuki Kute drops it. He got popped. I mean, whatever, man. That's a shit sandwich if I've ever been held one. Come on. We got the ball back. Oh. Oh! Oh, let's go, Houston! Thank you! Okay, the first time the sim kind of bailed us out there. I don't know what happened. Some sort of shenanigans. It looks like old man Drew Brees is right there, unless that's a different face scan. But in year 3, the jacked Houston Texans that just got absolutely ravaged. Their salary cap, talent-wise, their roster top to bottom. And we go on a run. We get that first round bye. We don't have to run the gauntlet. I don't think that's Drew Brees. Who is that? Tannehill? Rookie quarterback. That guy looks 40. Oh, yeah, look, of course, it's a random generated guy, even though he looks older than Drew Brees. That's a big-time dub. Did we get a Super Bowl win in the first rebuild? The first spin the wheel rebuild? I think we did. And here we go. Here's another one. If not, we did. Deshaun Watson, unbelievable. 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 75% completion percentage, even though you get a round down. That's only 74. But that is your MVP, playing every bit, but like an MVP. And it's a good win. Saints are usually a tough sim team to go up against. We'll see them hoist this Super Bowl trophy. The first Super Bowl in franchise history. Roquan Smith, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, Dalvin Cook. And there you go. When we got 2 more. I feel like this is what happened. I think we won the Super Bowl in the last spin the wheel rebuild in year 3. So we still got 2 more years trying to make this a dynasty. Congratulations, Houston. You had Deshaun Watson, who's a monster. Well, we were over the cap in free agency, so we couldn't sign anyone. And here's how our draft went. First round, we got Jalen Toon from Rutgers, 72 overall normal. I think he was like number 19 in talent. He's okay. He's fine. You know, I was trying to more so prepare for D4. It looks like he's not really progressing, getting ready to regress. Not really replacing. Here's our best pick of the draft, though. We have a starter at linebacker. We're going to slide him to outside. Deacon Stallworth from Clemson. The Clemson pipeline remains strong here in Houston. 72 hidden dev. Looks unbelievable across the board. This is a very, very good linebacker. I hope his dev trait comes out as such. Then just more so depth moves. And I thought I had a cheeky punter pick. Always go with the tall punter. When you go special teamers, you go with the tall guy. You get to swipe like a thought on Twitter. Whether it's dating devices, right? Go for the tall guy. Except this guy sucks. So we still need to find a proper punter for year 4. You can't expect to go into a year and defend your Super Bowl title without a proper punter. And Ed Parker is far from that. Year 4, okay. We're unbelievable yet again. Salary cap is real tight. No real changes on the offense. Defensively, you know, we got Stallworth here. He's gonna be starting right outside linebacker. We're starting to see like a lot of heavy regression, which is, it's expected. But I'll tell you the number one thing right now. Coming into the Super Bowl, what is the biggest impact playmaker on the Houston Texans? And that is none other than last string linebacker out of Southern Arkansas, Kirkland. That is why, and he looks like he's literally 75 years old. Kirkland. If we're going to win, if we're going to plan on repeating here in year 4, it's going to be on the blood, sweat, and tears of 70-year-old, he says he's 24, middle linebacker, Kirkland. Midway point, year 4, 5-3, not too bad. Second place in the AFC South, trailing the Colts by 1 victory. Looking at renegotiations first up, we got, that's a lot of money. Okay, let's be smart about this. Guys that we absolutely don't. Okay, we'll start with Cahill Waring. 4-year deal. Okay, he wants more money. What about Elton Jenkins? Inside at center. 3-year deal. He's good. All right, DeAndre. Oh, he wants so much money. Oh, we probably should have offered that to Elton Jenkins. Okay, we got to find a way to make DeAndre Hopkins' contract work. And then year 4, we barely squeak into the playoffs with a 9-7 record, trailing well behind the Colts, who are head and shoulders the top team in the AFC South. We didn't get a contract. We got Waring and Elton Jenkins locked up. We might have to franchise tag DeAndre Hopkins. That's probably our best chance at re-signing him, I think. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. That'd be a tough pill to swallow, to not have him here for the entirety of the rebuild. But we made the playoffs, which is fine. I mean, here's the question when you ask yourself. DeAndre Hopkins, obviously, unreal player. I think the best wide receiver in the National Football League. But we had to throw him in the slot. We had to Madden cheese him to actually play well. So how valuable is he really in this sim to the Houston Texans? I give you that question. Deshaun Watson, pretty good. 3,600 yards, 31 touchdowns, 7 picks. Dalvin Cook, dominant. That running attack, generally dominant. That's 4,000 yards, 37. That's pretty much automatic. Deshaun Watson's giving us 4,000 yards and 37-plus touchdowns every single season. Receiving, look, DeAndre Hopkins finally does well. Almost 1,000 yards, Kiki Kute, Cahill Waring. He actually had a dev trait scenario to go from star to superstar, and unfortunately, like most times, you didn't reach it. Defensively, Roquan Smith led the team, 118 tackles, 8 sacks, D Ford. Whoa, defense did not play particularly well. We were the 12th ranked offense and the 4th? Okay, it's one of those years where like the box score stats don't tell the whole story. MVP's Josh Allen. That's awesome. Taking that on in the first round of the wild card. AFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Josh Allen. Deshaun at 8. Defense Player of the Year went to Miles Jack. There's our former player, Zach Cunningham, playing very well. I don't think we're really gonna have a whole lot. Stallworth coming in at 9 for there. DeAndre Hopkins, best wide receiver. Very fitting the year that he's getting ready to leave us, potentially. He starts to play well. Okay. All right, we got to run the gauntlet here. It starts off defending our Super Bowl crown against MVP Josh Allen and his 11-5 Buffalo Bills. And in the first round, we knock them off because they're the Bills. They get to the playoffs. They suck it away. Weekly awards, Deshaun Watson, 3 touchdowns. Very clean game. As we move on to the next round to find out who the top dog really is in the AFC South, 9-7 versus 12-4. And just like that, the playoff experience, the Super Bowl pedigree of this Texas organization, 9-7, running the gauntlet, and now they come up against the sim juggernaut over the last 5 years of Madden franchise mode, the 12-4 Chargers, with the Super Bowl on the line, and they knock them off 32-26. Deshaun Watson. Really weird game to give him Player of the Week. And it looks like setting up a rematch, Super Bowl rematch against the Saints. Deshaun Watson had a touchdown, 2 picks, 47 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Joey Bosa had an interception. Maybe I want to get a closer look at that game. Let's see. I really want to see how that one actually broke down, because that's a weird looking, just kind of paying attention to a box score there. 36-26. They have Mariota as their quarterback, but looking at us, Deshaun Watson, okay, wasn't great. We ran the ball fairly well. Dalvin Cook, they couldn't stop that. 4 rushing touchdowns. So control the line of scrimmage. Wayne Gallman, so running backs as well. Wayne Gallman had the receiving touchdown. Geno Atkins, 2 sacks. Okay, and I think that does set up. There we go. Yeah, Super Bowl rematch against the New Orleans Saints. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to hop back in it again and try to make it 2 in a row. All right, you know they're going to be big mad, and we actually turned the ball over automatically, which is, I mean, this is a hole. This is a hole and a half. But come on, last time we were in a hole, and we battled back. So let's kick. Oh, we didn't kick the field goal. We went for it. It's a turnover in the red zone. Let's actually come in here. 3rd and 3 on the 13. Could be the last game with DeAndre Hopkins. Where is he? I'm going to go DeAndre Hopkins regardless of where he is. He's the first read. Oh, that's actually not the best. Probably boring. Oh, let's take off Deshaun. Oh, he's so fast. Oh, he's so fast, and he runs in for the touchdown. He got pretty much the AFC title with his legs. And here in the Super Bowl, go-ahead score. 21-14, 2-minute drill. We had to punt it away. All right, we open up second half. We have the lead. we're playing very well here. 35 points. This team is geared up. They're gassed up to win back-to-back Super Bowl titles over the New Orleans Saints. And we do 38-28. Bill O'Brien has built a dynasty. He came from that Bill Belichick coaching tree, the Patriot pipeline, and he's starting to do his own thing here with Houston. They make it 2 in a row. We're not going to gloat. We're not going to, wait till the Super Bowl ceremony to rub it in. I do want to see who got the MVP from this game. I'm going to assume it's Deshaun Watson. When in doubt, go with the quarterback. But man, is this guy the new Jim Kelly? Whoever this guy is, random 40-year-old looking quarterback that's probably only 25 in game. Blake Martinez probably missed a lot of open tackles on Dalvin Cook, if I know Blake Martinez like I do. And there's your MVP, Deshaun Watson. 3 touchdowns, no picks, had the rushing touchdown. He is a god. Let's get ready year 5, make it 3 Super Bowls in a row. We were able to franchise tag DeAndre Hopkins, but how that's going to, shape up for the rest of the roster, this is going to be really rough to make it work. And we're losing a lot. Lonnie Johnson Jr. has been playing very well. Amena, who has a lot of upside. Oh, it's going to be, every year we said it's going to be rough, and we've been able to persevere and win Super Bowls. This year, going into year 5, should be no different. All right, that's not bad. We're only 2.96 in the red, and there's a very clear and obvious release on our team because he has a $17 million free money. That's going to be D Ford, who finally actually went up in dev trait. Actually played well last year, but it frees up $17 million in cap room, and it actually gives us an option to literally, probably add 1 or 2 possible free agents because we need a D tackle. We could use a D end, another corner for sure. You look at the offense. Offense is on point. Don't need to worry about that. So in free agency, we made 2 moves. We brought back Lonnie Johnson Jr., who was actually our defensive player of the game in the Super Bowl, and then we brought in Max Crosby to take over for D Ford. 2 fairly low-key signings, but look at this draft. I made 3 picks, simmed out the rest, and then that's why you see lots of 50s and stuff like that. It wasn't a great bet, but here we'll work our way back. We got Jaden Culver, number 59 true talent, which kind of says the draft wasn't great. First round, we got Larry Christian, D tackle, needing a second D tackle. Dev trait's not amazing, but 76, we can work with that. 88 strength, shouldn't get pushed around. Good athlete as well. 86 acceleration, 78 speed for an undersized. Well, undersized is relative. 300 pounds is fine. But this is the pick. Kirby Bell, wide receiver out of Stanford, 75 hidden dev trait, 88 speed, 85 catch in traffic. This guy's a monster. 6'5", 225 with 93 jumping. Unbelievable. I'm probably making this guy wide receiver 3 right out the rip. He's gonna be baller. And hopefully we get DeAndre Hopkins wants to take him under his wing and help him out a little bit. Year 5 for the Houston Texans. This is going to be a big year. Can we make it 3 straight Super Bowls? Looking at our roster here, we got 99 Deshaun Watson, running gun X Factor. 99 Dalvin Cook, biggest get from the spin the wheel X Factor. Wayne Gallman reunited at last with Deshaun Watson and Clemson boys. They've been very good. Wide receiver, we got DeAndre Hopkins playing on a franchise tag. Kiki Kuti to a 91. Slate just random fine, but Kirby Bell is going to be our starter. Or at least our 3rd wide receiver, because my God, monster. Cahale Warning, 87 overall, developed very nicely back-to-back rebuilds we've done with the Texans. Offensive line, we got Tyron Smith, still 95. Darling, who we drafted, he's an 85. Tunsil's a 93. Jenkins, 92. DeCastro, 93. We got an 80 depth guard. Shane Vaughn's up to a 92. Wheeler's an 81. Offensive line stacked. J.J. Watt still doing his thing. Max Crosby coming over. DJ Reader and 1st round pick Larry Christian make up the defensive line. Bernardra McKinney, 90 overall. Roquan Smith, 97 overall. X Factor, reinforcement. Unbelievable. Probably the 2nd best spin the wheel player that we got after Dalvin Cook. Deacon Stallworth playing very good at right outside linebacker. Our secondary, we got Mayberry, Lonnie Johnson Jr., and Duke Shelley. Free safety, Justin Reed. Strong safety, Philip Whithead, and most importantly, Kirkland, who's got a, he's 6'7" overall, but he has that superstar X factor, that selfless ability. That is how much of a team player Kirkland is. He is the heart and soul of this team. He is also a senior citizen, and he's going to be the biggest reason why. If we can win 3 Super Bowls in a row, it's because of Kirkland. And year 5, veteran players. This J.J. Watt's final year? Okay, we got this final run for JJ as we have to go the gauntlet. 10-6, another winner of the AFC South. So that's 4 AFC South titles, 2 Super Bowls at this point. I mean, I'm not shocked, But understanding what we've gone through, the ups and downs, it's pretty impressive. Deshaun Watson, 34 touchdowns, 5 picks. Dalvin Cook, outstanding yet again. Really, this has been a great backfield for us. DeAndre Hopkins, 98 catches, 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns. Hell yeah. Defensively, Roquan Smith, 130 tackles, 3.5 sacks. We got 8.5 sacks, 17 TFLs for J.J. Watt. 4 picks Mayberry, 4 picks Whithead, which is great because those are our 2 DBs that we have drafted. 5th ranked offense in the NFL. Gross. 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 Deshaun Watson, number 8 in MVP voting. I'll just look for across-the-board award winners. We have the best running back in Dalvin Cook, best wide receiver in DeAndre Hopkins, best DB in our safety, Philip Whitted. So that's, hey, let's run the gauntlet. Ding the bell for the last year of J.J. Watt's career. It starts against the Bills, and just like that, oh, we lose. You know what? Kirkland dropped the ball on this one, okay? Out of everything that's happened, I think Kirkland has to be the man responsible for our collapse and defeat as they bounce out of the playoffs. 27-21, we lose to the Bills. Deshaun Watson, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. We ran the ball fairly well. Defensively, we got a sack, we got a pick. Really, how did they do this? Well, what happened with them? Looking at their side of things, Josh Allen didn't play well. 3 rushing touchdowns and the ball well. Well, at least when it's all said and done, 2 Super Bowl titles, 4 AFC South titles, 95 overall, 99 offense. This has been the spin the wheel rebuild of the Houston Texans. Looks, I mean, that's real. I mean, who do we still got? We got Tyron Smith, Elton Jenkins, David DeCastro on that offensive line. Year 5, you know, unreal. All 93s at least. We have, you know, we're able to endure losing a superstar wide receiver in Will Fuller and replacing him with QT. We were able to hang on to DeAndre Hopkins. Defensively, you know, moved on from D Ford, brought in Max Crosby. Still looked pretty decent. Geno Atkins left. I mean, we didn't ever really replace him, to be honest with you. J.J. Watt still hang on. Our corners are secondary, way better from where we started. Roquan Smith is a monster. McKinney excelled, moving from inside to outside. Generally, this defense transitioned well from a 3-4 to a 4-3. This is a successful rebuild. I mean, it wasn't, our backs weren't against the wall from day one because it's a very talented roster starting out, and we kind of handpicked a team that didn't have a great O-line that we could bring a Tyron Smith, an Elton Jenkins, and a David DeCastro to. But the salary cap, I mean, that was as tough as any other rebuild, trying to maintain a high-level roster, losing 2-3 good players every single season. So there you go, guys. That is your spin the wheel rebuild here today for the Houston Texans. Like I said, we use this as a community suggestion for the different way that we can approach the spin the wheel. So keep on sending your suggestions of different approaches we could have. I'm not opposed to redoing and doubling up, doing something like this where we spin based upon position. I'm not against spin or based upon just teams in the NFL. You could do draft round. There's a whole bunch of different things we can do, but I'm always going to be siphoning through the comments to see what could bring the best content to the channel. So as always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed, and until next time, it's C4 saying here's David DeCastro, and peace out.
Numbers going down, but I still stay consistent. Doubt come around, but I still don't listen. Do I need a new sound or a new vision? Perhaps it's time I make that decision. I don't wanna think about nothing. I just wanna stay doing something. I just wanna stay cooking up.